नमस्कार। आप सभी का हृदय से स्वागत, अभिनंदन कि आप सप्ताहांत के दिन, वीकेंड के दिन और इतनी सुंदर सुबह है उस समय में आए हैं और बड़ी अच्छी मात्रा में। इतना हमने सोचा नहीं था। संगीता जी नमस्कार। तो सोचा नहीं था, तो आप आए हैं, तो आपका बहुत बहुत आभार। क्योंकि प्रॉब्लम यह है कि मैं इतनी सारी इवेंट्स करता हूं और आई एक्सपेक्ट कि इट्स डिफिकल्ट टू एक्सपेक्ट कि लोग हर इवेंट पे आए। तो आपका धन्यवाद, आप आए और दूर दूर से आए हैं लोग। हमारे अंकल जी आए हैं लेस्टर से, आप लोग भी आए लेस्टर से, और बहुत सारे लोग आए हैं। आप आए हैं रग्बी से आए हैं लोग, वुलवरहैम्पटन से आए हैं, डालस्टन से आए हैं और बहुत सारे लोगों से। तो आपका सबका आभार। और ये कुछ तो हमारी महानता है, कुछ वेदांता की, जो लोगों ने नाम सुना और कैसे कैसे लोग कहीं कहीं से आए हैं। और मैंने सुना है कि भी डालस्टन से उन्होंने कहा कि भी हम वेदांता से जुड़े हैं। तो बड़ा सुंदर लगता है कि भी आज के समय में हम वेदांत से, धर्म से जुड़े हुए हैं किसी भी बहाने से। तो आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Can you chant 3 times Om bit longer, please?
Okay, so we will start with 3 Oms. हम काफी देर से कर रहे हैं, पर ये मेरी बुढ़ापे में आपको याददाश्त भूल जाती है, तो वो उसी समस्या से निकल रहा हूं, तो भूल जाता हूं। पर सालवान जी इज हियर एट माता दा मंदिर। वी गैदर एवरी फर्स्ट सैटरडे ऑफ द मंथ फॉर ए मंथली टॉक ऑन वेरियस टॉपिक्स by different speakers. We have covered many important topics such as what is Hinduism, what makes a good human being, role of women in Hinduism, what makes a good human being, and vegetarianism, respect for elders in the community at your home as well, and many more topics we have covered. We do every month, first Saturday of the month. We do this under the guidance of, आपने देख ही लिया होगा कि हम सालवान जी से हम पूछते हैं। इन्हीं की ये प्रेरणा है और इन्हीं के ध्यान से, इन्हीं की गाइडेंस से, इन्हीं की सुपरविजन में हम इंदर जी सालवान जी के लिए जोरदार तालियां हो जाएं प्लीज। ये मेरे से कुछ ही महीने बड़े हैं, 91 92 के हैं। तो आप उसी उम्र में भी उतनी ही ऊर्जा, और मेरे ख्याल है बहुत लोगों से बहुत ज्यादा ऊर्जा के साथ काम करते हैं, रात दिन बैठ के अपनी किताबें लिखते हैं और धर्म के लिए काम करते हैं। तो आपका धन्यवाद, जो आपका इसमें योगदान है वो हमेशा से, और हम तो उसको देख ही रहे हैं। और आपका जो ग्रुप का नाम है, आप फाउंडर हैं हिंदू रिलीजियस स्टडी ग्रुप, जो कि लेस्टर में है, और हम उसके अम्ब्रेला के नीचे माता का मंदिर से हम इनके साथ हम लगे हैं, इनकी गाइडेंस में, तो हम ये सब कुछ कर पा रहे हैं। आपका धन्यवाद। अगर आपको हमारे मैसेजेस रेगुलर नहीं मिलते हैं तो आप प्रोग्राम के बाद मुझे कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं। वी डू मैनी इवेंट्स। आज शाम को भी है पूर्णिमा की कथा, एंड वी डू मोर लेस एवरी डे और एवरी अदर डे देयर इज ए कपल ऑफ इवेंट्स इन द वीक समटाइम्स। So please contact with me or contact the Pandit ji. Take that number and then you will get these regular updates of most of the events. तो आई थिंक मैं प्रवीर जी को बुलाऊंगा। उससे पहले मैं क्योंकि ये गीता का टॉपिक है, गीता, तो मैंने को लगा कि मैं आज सुबह उठ के 4 बजे उठ के मैंने थोड़ा सा पढ़ा और तभी आज ही पढ़ा, तो सोचा कि ताजा है तो मैं आपको बता दूं कि मैंने भी गीता पढ़ी है, नकल मारी है। तो गीता का जो हर श्लोक है, हर शब्द हमें संदेश देता है, हमें जीने की राह दिखाता है। जैसे मुख्य क्या है, कर्म या परिणाम। कर्मण्य वादिका रस्ते मां फलेषु कदाचन। हमें सिर्फ काम करने का या कर्म करने का अधिकार है और फल की इच्छा के बिना। और सेकंड, लस्ट, ग्रीड, एंगर, काम, लोभ व क्रोध, ये आपस में जुड़े हुए क्रोध, ये आपस में जुड़े हुए हैं। ये पतन के 3 कारण हैं, और भी हैं, लेकिन मैं 3 ही की बात करूंगा, और बात तो क्या करूंगा, जस्ट जल्दी जल्दी पढ़ के जाऊंगा। कामना की पूर्ति होने से लोभ बढ़ता है, और ना होने से क्रोध बढ़ता है। तो ये सब है। और आज मैं सुबह किसी को सुन रहा था, राजेश्वरन जी को मैं बड़ा सुनता हूं, तो उसमें वो कह रहे थे कि गरीब वही है जिसके पास धन है, वो गरीब नहीं है, जिसकी कामना रह गई है वही गरीब है। तो आई थिंक समथिंग लाइक दैट। और तीसरा भय, और शायद मृत्यु का भय जो है सबसे ज्यादा होता है और अधिक भयभीत करता है। लेकिन संत और ग्रंथ हमें मृत्यु से तो नहीं बचाते, पर उसके भय से जरूर उसका जरूर मिट जाता है। मरना निश्चित है, लेकिन पल पल नहीं मरना है। हमारे ग्रंथों में इसके कई उदाहरण हैं। उनमें से हम सभी ने राजा परीक्षित जी के प्रकरण से भली भांति हम लोग परिचित होंगे। आप लोगों ने सुना होगा कि कैसे उनको 7 दिन का समय मिला, पर वो पल पल मरे नहीं, उन्होंने हर पल जिया, और ये भी भागवत के माध्यम से। तो ऐसे ही गीता जी के संदेश लेकर आ रही हैं भारतवर्ष से, हिंदुस्तान से। आई थिंक आई विल आस्क परबीर जी टू इंट्रोड्यूस इट प्रॉपर्ली। तो परबीर जी का धन्यवाद कीजिए। और ये हमेशा से हमारे से जुड़े हैं, मंदिर का बड़ा सहयोग करते हैं, डॉक्टर परबीर शर्मा। कोई समय ले सकते हैं।
नमस्कार, आप सब लोगों को आज यहाँ आने के लिए बहुत धन्यवाद और बहुत बधाई। और thank you for coming here. I want to begin with introducing our speaker, Srimati Jaya Raoji. Jaya Raoji has been doing this work for the last 40 years, perhaps more, but at least 40 years. She has been involved in spreading the message of Gita. So she has a background of science, management, and technology. She was a microbiologist by training, and then she worked in corporate institutions. She was in management and had an expertise in management. So she brings with her this modern, technical, scientific background, and she started to apply this to the teachings of Vedanta and Gita in particular. So I heard her several years ago on the YouTube in my search. So Jaya ji has spoken to large audiences, corporate audiences. She has been associated with big institutions like Tata, HDFC, Asian Paints. She has traveled all over the world, and she has been speaking on Bhagavad Gita and on Vedanta, speaking about how to apply these age-old, ancient knowledge in our present world, in our current living. So therefore, her message is particularly relevant to all of us. Now, when she began, for several years and decades, she was talking to corporate audiences, but she has changed focus to talking to common people like us. She has changed focus yet again in the last several years to concentrating on children, because the need of the world is to focus on our children and to spread the message of our ancient culture and heritage amongst the youngsters, and that's exactly what she's doing. I think for those of us who can't actually do those things ourselves, it's a great opportunity to participate, to contribute to this kind of activity. So, जैसे कृष्ण भगवान ने कहा है कि सभी यज्ञों में जो ज्ञान यज्ञ है वो सबसे ऊपर है, सबसे और मुझे सबसे प्रिय है. और ज्ञान यज्ञ is that where you are spreading the jnana of Krishna's message. So by coming here, by listening to Jaya ji, and by contributing to her cause, we will all be contributing to that Jnana Yagya, that's the direct instruction of Krishna Bhagavan. I will tell you a little bit more about her work after her talk, and I'll also tell you about other talks that are there in Birmingham, so that for those people who have not been able to attend today, and for those of you who would like to also benefit from other talks that she is doing in Birmingham today and tomorrow. There'll be some information about that. So for now, can I invite Srimati Jaya Raoji to come and discuss.
Thank you. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
The subject for this morning is the message of the Bhagavad Gita. When we think of the Bhagavad Gita, we think of it as an ancient text written in Sanskrit, which none of us knows, and irrelevant to modern life. So at best, those of us who have taken certain rituals from our forefathers, put the Gita in the prayer room and worship it. That's about it. It is as good as if you want to be a physicist, putting a physics book in the puja room and worshipping it. Nobody will become a physicist that way. Similarly, you won't get the benefit of the Bhagavad Gita by merely worshipping it. Because the Bhagavad Gita is a science. It's a technique of living. It's a rational presentation of our life, of what's happening inside us. It is a handbook of self-management. If you don't know how to manage yourself, you will fall a victim to other forces and be a victim all your life. This is where we are at. Very few of us have control over ourselves. Very few of us have any clue about what we are capable of, what potential we carry within us, and what is this wonderful personality that we carry, and how to tap into it. Just as you might purchase the most sophisticated gadget, the greater the sophistication in the gadget, the more the training you need to handle that gadget. Isn't it? If you don't know how to handle it, the same gadget becomes a nuisance to you. Similarly, friends, we are carrying this most wonderful machinery within us, our inner personality. Very few of us know how to handle it because we don't have this instructions manual. We have it, the Bhagavad Gita, but we are not tapping into it. And therefore, mental health disorders are increasing in the world today. And it starts with children. Can we please have silence? So, if we don't want things to go wrong in our life, we have to first look within and see what is happening inside the mind. You know, when you have a gadget, you give a command, that machine obeys you implicitly. But when you give a command to yourself, your mind taunts you with indifference, with disobedience. The mind says, go to hell, I will do what I want. Isn't that what the mind says? And so, the Bhagavad Gita is a manual for self-management. It introduces you to yourself. It enables you to manage yourself. It enables you to tap into the best in you. And we are born finite. We are born with shortcomings. We are born with faults. But we are not meant to die like this. We are meant to transform into amazing, outstanding personalities. But we don't know it. And so today, we're going to take a brief look at how the Bhagavad Gita helps us to achieve what every one of us wants to achieve. What do we want to achieve? Primarily.
Happiness.
Correct. Happiness. Swami Ramatirtha told his audiences in America in 1902, your only duty in life is to be happy. The only purpose of your existence is to be happy. If you're not happy, you're carrying the most deadly infectious disease within you. Lock yourself up in your room till you find the ability to be cheerful. Just cheerful. How many of us have it in us to smile at somebody else? I notice anywhere in the world when you go for a walk, another person is coming the other direction, you make sure that there is no eye contact because you don't want to deal with the other person. How does it hurt you to just smile? So, if you're not happy, you're not fulfilling your basic duty in life. Right? Then you want to be successful also. Not just happy. In India, there are quite a few people who are happy, but they're not successful. That's not what you want. You want a combination of the two. That is almost non-existent in the world today. There are a few successful people, but they are tormented, agitated, stressed out. And then there are a few happy people who are not successful. And we want to tap into our potential. If Virat Kohli was a club player, he would be dissatisfied because he has not tapped into his potential. If Roger Federer had been an ordinary tennis player, he would be dissatisfied because his potential is much greater. Similarly, what wonders lie within us, you have no idea. The transformation that you're capable of is like that of a caterpillar to a butterfly. What is the life of a caterpillar? It nibbles on a leaf, it's sitting in the dark, it can barely move. But someday it transforms into a butterfly and takes off into freedom. As Wordsworth said, breathes an ethereal air. This is our potential, friends. We are not meant to live like caterpillars, thinking of what to eat next mealtime, when to grab the next million. That's not the life of a human being. So, let's start. What is the Bhagavad Gita about? We as human beings are born with two wonderful gifts, denied to all other species. And that is, number one, choice of action. Every moment you have a choice to go for the higher or the lower, to lead a disciplined life or throw discipline to the winds, to do good or to do bad. And because we have this choice, or to be vegetarian or non-vegetarian is a choice only we have, or vegan. No lion has that choice. The lion can't say, I'm getting old, I'm fed up of hunting, so let's just eat grass. Not available. Cow can't say, I'm bored of eating grass, let's have chicken. Not possible. You and I have this choice. And to help us make the right choice, we are also blessed with the intellect, again denied to other creatures. Intellect, capacity to think, reason, discriminate, and arrive at a decision. So, choices are given. Infants are making choices. From birth, we are making choices. But intellect needs to be developed. We are born with the intellect, but it needs to be developed. And in today's world, nobody is aware of the importance of the intellect. Nobody knows that they have an intellect, first of all. And there is no attempt to develop it. So, what's happening is we are making disastrous choices with a poorly developed intellect. Think of all the wrong choices you made. What drove it? The mind, impulse, emotion. Think of one good choice you made. What promoted it? The intellect, thinking. So, we have within us two wonderful instruments. Incidentally, what time would you like me to stop?
No more.
Thank you. Oh, he's not there. Okay.
12:30.
Sorry?
12:30.
12:30? Okay. Mind and intellect are the two equipment which make our inner personality. The mind is the realm of emotions, feelings, impulses, likes and dislikes. Emotions like love, hatred, jealousy, envy, affection. Likes and dislikes. You like your mother, you dislike your mother-in-law. You like, I don't know, peas, you dislike Karela, so on and so forth. Now, if the mind decides the action, the problem with that is what you like need not necessarily be what is good for you. Classic example of this is junk food. You don't need to educate a child on the pleasure of junk food. It naturally takes to it. But healthy food, yucky, the child says. So that's what the problem is. Therefore, you need the intellect to come into play and decide what is in your interest, what is not in your interest. In life, anything that gives you instant pleasure gives you sorrow in the end. And that which is distasteful in the beginning gives you everlasting happiness. Why it is so, I don't know. But that it is so, we should know. Right? That only your intellect tells you. Abraham Lincoln said, discipline is choosing between what you want to do now and what you really want long term. There's a difference. So, the mind needs to be governed. An ungoverned mind is your greatest enemy, is your enemy, your own mind. I know a young girl in Pune who's got a horrible mental health issue. And she herself says, I am doing things that I myself don't want to do. What is it that makes me do it? She's at her wit's end. That is the mind. If you keep giving in to the mind, it will lead to this. The same mind governed by your intellect is your greatest friend, greatest ally. So that is the first lesson. Buddhi nashat pranashyati, says Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Categorically. Means if you lose your intellect, there is total destruction in every which way. What are we doing about the intellect? Sweet nothing. Gathering information is not having a strong intellect. That now we have artificial intelligence. So information is not in the picture at all. Why are we human beings? Because of the intellect. How do you develop that intellect? The same way you develop your body. If you want a strong body, what do? Exercise. You want a strong intellect, what must you do? Exercise that intellect, which means think, reason, inquire, question. Don't take things lying down. Don't fall for peer pressure. Ask anyone, why did you do what you did? Because everyone did, so I did. Why did you go to school? Everyone went, so I went. Why did you go to university? Everybody went, I went. Why did you get married? Arey, what a question to ask. Everyone got married, so I got married. Why are you suffering? Everyone is suffering, so I'm suffering. There's no thinking. When you start thinking, whole avenues open up before you. And then you have the courage to stand by your own principles, your own conviction, which is what you're a human being for. And you can't develop the intellect on your own, you need help. And I can't think of a better source than the Bhagavad Gita, which helps you to develop that intellect. There is nothing ancient about the Bhagavad Gita. It is a science, just as you can't say, I will not study the law of gravity because it was discovered years ago. God help you if you say that. Similarly, you cannot say, I will not study the Bhagavad Gita because it is ancient. It will be at your peril, at your risk. Anytime, you look at ancient India. India went through long periods of golden era. These are the periods when spirituality was at its highest. And then look at the downfall. The downfall happened when we lost that connect with spirituality. So, as Christ said, seek the kingdom of heaven and all else will be added unto you. This is exactly what the Bhagavad Gita says. Seek Atman, seek the spirit, and matter will come to you. Prosperity and happiness are byproducts of your seeking spirituality. You run after money directly, it will run away from you. You know why? Because thought of self is the greatest obstacle that stands between you and the object of desire and success. So which brings us to we'll deal with this later. The next lesson from the Bhagavad Gita is contentment, Shanti. We chant, na? Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Only when the mind is calm is your thinking sharp, clear, creative, and actions brilliant. When your mind is agitated, you have no access to your own knowledge. The intellect can't think properly. It gets deflected and actions flawed. All of us are focusing on just gaining knowledge, skills. We are not focusing on the mind. Calmness of the mind. Billie Jean King said that when she was playing at the Wimbledon once. She said, I wanted to stop the match, grab the mic and declare to everyone present, it's not about the trophy, it's not about prize money, it's about what she called as pure action. And she defined that pure action as intense activity in the midst of a perfectly tranquil mind. So we're not talking of a peace in laziness. We're not talking of a peace where you are inactive. That is the tamasic state. The mediocre state is where you are active, but you're driven by desire. Helpless, restless activity driven by desire, and unfulfilled desires is what causes stress. So you perform mistakes, errors in judgment, and you don't achieve the success that you should have achieved. The sattvic state, which is the ideal, is where the mind is calm, intellect is sharp, actions brilliant. So intense activity, dynamic activity, while the mind is calm, leads to success. So in sport, it's dramatic. In tennis, for instance. Now the French Open is going on, right? Who wins the final does not depend on who is more skilled. It depends on whose mind is calmer. At match point, crucial difference is in the mind. And unfortunately, none of us are focusing on the mind. Which the Gita speaks of. You get your mind calm, by God, you'll be an exceptional personality. How to get the mind calm? You ride on desire, your mind will be agitated. In sport, suppose a person says, I want to win the French Open, I want to win. 100% he will not win. Then what must you do? Fix the goal. Yes, I'm working for the French Open trophy. Play tennis like you've never played before. Play tennis because you love it. Play tennis because you find fulfillment in it. Chances are you'll win the trophy. The more you think of grabbing from the world to yourself, your mind will not be calm. Be grateful for what you already have. I don't know any of you, but I can say, most of you I don't know, but I can say with confidence that all of us have enough and more, much more than the average citizen of the world. Are you grateful for it? No, you're looking at one more thing to grab. Then your mind will be agitated. Be aware of what you have, be grateful for it, and find ways to give back, to contribute, to just give in gratitude. And my God, you'll be successful. Shift from profiteering to offering. Your mind will be at peace. This is not taught in any management institute. This is not taught in any university. This is taught only in the Bhagavad Gita. And this will guarantee success. Nothing else guarantees success. Next, excellence. We don't realize it, but the Bhagavad Gita gives the formula for excellence, formula for success. And inherent in this is in the 3rd chapter, verse 10, Krishna puts it dramatically. He says, when the Creator created the human being was created sahayajna, means along with the capacity to sacrifice. Right? No other creature can sacrifice consciously, willingly. You put some food in front of a mother dog and a child, the mother will grab it. You put food before a mother, human mother and a child, it is impossible that the mother will grab it. She'll give. I've seen poor people who haven't eaten for days together. When the mother gets food, she gives it to the child. When the child eats, look at the expression on the mother's face. She's fulfilled. This only a human being is capable of. So he says, with this, may you prosper. Means without it, it is impossible to prosper, and we are all trying to prosper without sacrifice, right? That is why our success is like that of a chicken flying. Have you seen a chicken fly? Pat, 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 it makes a lot of noise. Before it's off the ground, it's back on the ground. That is our success. True success is like the eagle which just takes off effortlessly. So how does that come? Through yajna. And then he says something amazing. He says, let this be the Kamadhenu of all your endeavors. Kamadhenu is a mythological cow, the cow of sage Vasishtha, who resides in heaven and has the ability to fulfill all your wishes. Now don't ask me for the address of Kamadhenu, because here he says, sacrifice is Kamadhenu. It is so true. Take examples. Mahatma Gandhi sacrificed, he didn't even wear proper clothes because he said, I will not wear clothes till every Indian is clothed. Till the end of his life, he didn't wear proper clothes. But what he got in return, he became a Mahatma. unmatched. When President Obama visited India for the first time as President of the United States, the first thing he said is, had it not been for Gandhi, I would not be here. Martin Luther King found inspiration in Gandhi. So you get much more than what you give. All you have to do is find a higher cause and dedicate yourself to that cause. It's very simple. You don't need to change your profession, you don't need to change your wardrobe, you don't need to change the place you live in. You simply have to change your attitude. A lawyer must look at how best can I use my knowledge of law to help my client. That's it. Money he'll get plenty. Same with the doctor. How can I use my medical knowledge to alleviate the suffering of the patient? He'll get a roaring practice. So also with all of us. But what comes in the way is thought of self. Why are you not doing it? The fear is what will happen to me. There's a lovely movie called The Legend of Bhagavans. I strongly recommend you watch that. It's not a Bollywood movie, it's a mainstream Hollywood movie made by Robert Redford. It's about a golfer in the 1930s who's a brilliant golfer, but because of some personal problem, he quits golf and starts drinking. And then a competition is announced. In those days, there was bitter rivalry between the northern and southern states of America. He was from the south, from Savannah. So his people go to him and say, please, you must play in this competition. You are our only savior. So he agrees to play, but he's been drinking so hard he can barely see the ball. And one night when he's practicing his shots, a black man comes out of the darkness. The actor Will Smith is brilliant and offers to be his caddy. The caddy's name is Bhagavans. Does it ring a bell? Bhagavan. I'm not imagining it. Robert Redford says. The movie is based on a book called Gita on the Green. How you can use the Bhagavad Gita while playing golf. If there are any golf enthusiasts, definitely watch that. So, he is the guru, Bhagavans, the caddy. And the golfer's name is Ranulph Jr. He's called Arjuna for short. No prizes for guessing. Arjuna. So the competition starts and he's playing badly as expected. At one hole, he asks the caddy, which club do I play with? And the caddy very sarcastically says, Pekeni, it doesn't matter, you're playing so badly. But he calls him back and says something that I would like you to remember all your life. And that is, there's a perfect shot waiting out there. All you got to do is get yourself out of the way. When I heard that, a thrill went down my spine because that is the very core of the Bhagavad Gita. Get yourself out of the way. There's perfection within each one of us. What is standing in the way? What will happen to me? What will I do after retirement? Will I get enough pension to last after retirement? All these silly thoughts are what come in the way of your perfection. So just do that. You know, a singer sings brilliantly, provided she doesn't think of herself. The moment she thinks, does the audience appreciate my music? Will I get a good review? Thought of self, she sings off note. There's a surgeon in Bombay who's brilliant. But when his daughter needed surgery, he couldn't operate. He's worried about the side effects of anesthesia. And I said, I love that. Every day you're operating. Every day you're using anesthesia. You don't think of the side effects. When it comes to your daughter, you're filled with fear. That is why no surgeon operates on his own family. Do you know that? That's the problem. Thought of self. A lady cooks brilliantly. But when she invites guests and she wants to impress them with her cooking, she puts extra salt in one dish, burns the second dish. The whole meal is a disaster. Not because she does not know how to cook, because thought of self comes in the way. In our life, thought of self is permanently in the way. That's why you make so many mistakes. How not to think of self? Fix a higher goal. The higher the goal that you work for, let's say your organization, your community, your country, the whole of humanity. You see, our culture is based on universality. We don't pray that only my community should do well. We don't say others are going to hell because they are not my community. We pray, Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha. Correct. You know the prayer, but live it. Live it. Work for the well-being of people and see what miracles happen. We say, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole universe is one family, my family. Live it. Don't just say it. And then you achieve excellence. You become role models for others to follow. And the whole world benefits. That comes from yajna. Yajna is not just havan. It's not starting a fire unnecessarily and polluting the environment. I'm not saying you should not do the ritual. But you must understand what the ritual is about. See, this is the problem. We don't understand anything. I watched a video of a girl on whose life this movie Kerala story is based. She's one of those characters. And she was saying, I was asked questions. I went back and asked my parents. My parents said, we don't know. And it is this ignorance that led her to hatred, terrorism, and wanting to kill her own people. She said, I hated my parents because of this. When I saw that, I couldn't sleep that night because I said, somehow or the other, we must get this knowledge across. That we are heirs to this most wonderful knowledge. We don't know, and we fall a prey to all kinds of negative influences. You must watch that movie. I have nothing to do with the movie. I'm not promoting it. I'm not even saying you should watch the movie. But understand it is ignorance. And we are so complacent about it. We don't know, we don't care that we don't know. And our children, the next generation is going the wrong way. We don't care even about that. How can we be so indifferent? When we are called Amritasya Putraha, children of immortality. Somewhere, something should connect. Something should motivate us. Right? So, excellence. It's not just excellence. We talk about universal love, oneness. In diversity. You know, India is such a wonderful country that every 200 miles you go, 200 kilometers you go, everything changes. The food changes, the dialect changes slightly, everything changes. But from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Gujarat to Bengal, we all feel one because there is one culture that unites us. The feeling of oneness. So you don't need to be identical. When a ray of light is passed through a prism, go back to your school physics, it refracts into 7 distinct colors. You see the 7 colors from this end, but you understand they emerge from the one ray of white light. Similarly, friends, we are seeing differences not because there are differences, because we are looking at the world through the prism of our body and its preferences, the mind and its likes and dislikes, the intellect and its prejudices. So you see sharp differences. And you say, I like this one, I don't like this. And whom? The person you don't like, or the person who has beliefs different from you, you hate? What kind of mediocre thinking is that? Only in India we have this feeling of oneness, at least in our culture. And even in our life. Even today, you see train passengers. One is a Bengali, one is a Gujarati, one is a South Indian. They become friends by the time they reach the destination. They exchange their food. They talk about each other's lives. They are even matchmaking by the end. Not so in other societies, unfortunately. So this hatred is something we must rise above. And when you have love, there are tremendous advantages. The first thing is, drudgery turns to revelry. And the older people here will remember that in our childhood, in the summer, papad used to be made at home, not bought from a store. It's a tedious procedure. But how they got over it is, the ladies of the community would get together, 10, 15 of them, and papad would be made in an environment of fun, laughter, togetherness. Everybody shared, everyone was included, including us kids. We were kids then. And we had the important job of taking the papad to the terrace, dry it and bring it back. But it was fun. The fact that I remember it so many years later. Then this togetherness went away, papad making stopped. And now you have to buy papad from a store. When you have a difficult job to do, even during COVID, incidentally, Indian families were able to deal with the situation much better because they all came together. They shared in the work. They shared their griefs. They shared their problems. Unlike in the US, only husband and wife in one home, constantly fighting. I'm not joking, I've seen it. And then I thought in India, it was effortless. Why? Because the whole family came together. Your happiness increases. See, today you can be happy only when good things happen to you. But when you feel one with everybody, you do good, I celebrate as if the achievement was mine. And this makes for leadership. You know, when Nelson Mandela, as president, one day was going out for a walk in the morning. He looked at his security guard and said, how are you, how's your family? So the guard asked him in response, said, very well, Mr. President, and how is your family? He stopped, turned around, looked at him and said, I have a very large family. My family consists of 42 million people. What a thing to say. I mean, spontaneously. He didn't just say it, he worked tirelessly to bring 4 distinct different communities to think South Africa. Whites, blacks, coloreds, Indian. He didn't succeed, that's a different matter. And that gives power. How did Gandhiji get his power? He identified with not just every Indian, every downtrodden person across the world. In fact, he started his work in South Africa. You try it. You feel for people and see what happens. You don't need to talk about it. You don't need to say, I love you very much. Have you seen dogs? Is there anyone here who has a pet dog? Yeah. You will notice that when a dog lover comes to your house, He doesn't have to say anything. How does your dog react? He wags his tail furiously, goes, licks him, jumps on him, showers his affection on your friend when your friend doesn't even know that you have a dog. Same dog. A person who's afraid of dogs enters, the dog's reaction is very different. He first snarls, growls, and goes menacingly towards your friend. That poor fellow gets a heart attack because as it is, he's afraid and he's being attacked. If dogs can sense love so much, how much more must it be with human beings? So you can't fake it. It's got to be genuine from the bottom of your heart. And how does this come? When you identify with your body, you see maximum separateness. You don't even feel one with your child. Last evening, a lady was telling me, oh, I don't have place because my 2 sons have come back to live with me. I said, why are you sorry that your sons have come back? Because I have to do all the work. They don't do any work. So that's what happens when you identify with the body. You become intolerant even of your own children. Identify with the mind, you feel one with the whole family. And it gives you such joy. You know, I travel a lot. But the one thing that gives immense joy, I'm sure you've experienced it, after you travel, the first thing that happens when you go back home is you're so excited just to be home, isn't it? And your family members ask you, what would you like for dinner? And you say, anything. As long as it's home food. Just plain dal chawal is enough. Why? Because you feel one within the family. The Gita speaks of not feeling separate with any living being. What a celebration you will be in. You will be in bliss all your life. It makes for success because you build strong teams. And you can't achieve anything alone in life. You can work only in teams. You must have the capacity to feel for people. Then they return the courtesy. They will be willing to give their life for you. That's what happened with Shivaji. Shivaji, the great Maratha emperor. One day his mother was the strategic thinker. So the mother called him and said, this particular fort near Pune has been taken by the Mughals. You need to get it back as quickly as possible. So he called his best man, Tanaji, whom he loved dearly. He was like a brother to him. Because he knew he is the only one who could get the fort back. It was a difficult thing. At one side was the approach, which was well guarded by the Mughals, and on the other side was a sheer precipice. Nobody could go up. This man, Tanaji, thought creatively. He got a mountain lizard which has vacuum pads. It's called Ghorpad in Marathi. Tied a rope around it, threw it up, and with the help of that mountain lizard, he and 50 of his people climbed up, took the Mughals by surprise, and won the fort back. But in the battle, Tanaji lost his life. Both he and the Mughal chief killed each other. And when word went back to Shivaji, he said the famous words, Gad ala pan Simha gela, means we've got the fort, but we lost the lion. Since that day, that fort, till this day, is called Simhagad. If you go to Pune, go there. This can happen only when there is love between two people. Caring. Then comes knowledge. What kind of knowledge? Yesterday, when someone was driving me here to Birmingham from London, he asked me, he's an elderly person. He's just witnessed his own brother's death. So he's asking me, how do we prepare for death? And I said, you don't prepare for death, you prepare for life. You live life in such a way that you are anchored in the permanent, which means, so true knowledge is knowing that everything in the world is passing, ephemeral, impermanent, and will go. And that you can't carry any of this with you when you die. It's not, it can't be transferred. You can transfer money from one country to another, but from one life to the other, you can't transfer. You can't take your family members. Even if they want to, they can't. And they will not want. You go home and ask your spouse, darling, when I die, will you come with me? You won't get an answer. You say, why are you talking depressing things? Have your dinner first. So, you need to focus on those things which you can carry with you. What do you carry with you? You carry the state of your mind and intellect. You carry your karmas with you. You carry your personality with you. What are you doing about developing that? Sweet nothing. And what are you depending on? The passing phenomena of the world. So, a person who is grounded in the permanent and interacts with the world, possesses wealth. See, King Janaka was one such person. He was a king. He had wealth the likes of which hardly anyone here now has. And he enjoyed his wealth. But he was not dependent on any of that. He was anchored in the spirit, the permanent. Then you're not attached to anything in the world. The transition is seamless, painless, without any trauma. But if you're attached, the separation is so painful that you go through hell, the other person goes through hell. Unnecessary. So this brings us to the most important thing that we should take back with us, is that we suffer unnecessarily in life. The Gita tells us how to live life, enjoy life, have wonderful relationships, but don't suffer. Pain is inherent in life. Everybody goes through pain. Physical pain, emotional pain, intellectual pain. But suffering is your choice. You choose to suffer. All of us choose to suffer. Like, suppose I were to tell you to hold this in your hand. Would you be able to hold it? Of course. You didn't ask me for how long. Half an hour, you feel tired. At some point you say, I can't. Suffering, we increase our suffering by hanging on to it. What do? Let's say today you've had a painful experience. You don't let it go. You keep thinking of it. You bring the past into the future and say, I need revenge. I will get the person. And then you anticipate. So you suffer in anticipation. You suffer when tragedy strikes. And you suffer in retrospect. All put together is unbearable. That is why children don't suffer as much. You know, I had a terrible experience of seeing a 2-year-old child suffer from cancer, and he died eventually, that boy. 2 days before he died, I went to meet him. And he had tubes all over his body. He was sitting, playing with something. That moment he was free from pain. So I asked him, his name was Aditya. I said, Aditya, how are you feeling? He says, I'm fine, auntie. 2 days before he died. That is the thing with children. This moment, if they are free from pain, they're happy. They don't think of past, oh, how much I suffered. They don't think of future, when will the pain come back. That's how you should live life. Live in the moment. Don't suffer uselessly. And then when you detach from your own body, mind and intellect, even that pain you don't feel, like Ramakrishna, Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda's guru, suffered from cancer of the throat. And towards the end, he couldn't swallow even his saliva, forget food. So Vivekananda broke down, seeing his condition. And Ramakrishna told him, "What are you crying for, you fool? Don't you see? When you eat, my stomach, my hunger is appeased." He went painlessly, without suffering. That should be our goal. It's not easy. It's difficult because we are attached to the body. Why? Because you're constantly thinking of the body. We are a generation of body worshippers, isn't it? On 2nd July in Delhi, I'm speaking on the subject how to stay young. How to stay young? Stop thinking of the body. Energize yourself mentally and accept that you will age, but age gracefully. You know, this nonsense of Botoxing yourself doesn't work. However much you Botox, people know, can see through it. And you only go through pain unnecessarily. Have you seen wonderful old women who have wrinkles? Yes, see, the wrinkles are not on your face, the wrinkles are in your soul. When the wrinkles come in your soul, even at 40, you look 80. You behave like an 80-year-old. So that Gita gives you that never say die attitude. Remain dynamic, energetic, youthful, in spirit, all your life. Don't you want that? But for that, you have to pay the price. I'm not talking about money. Pay the price of studying the Bhagavad Gita for just half an hour a day. And for those of you who are interested, we have the Bhagavad Gita explained in simple English like the way I'm talking, in audio or video format. You just have to download it and listen to it every day. And what a difference it makes. 1 year. I come here every year. Next year when I come, you will have experienced that distinct change in your personality. And if it doesn't happen, you can hang me for it. I keep coming back. So, that is it, friends. When I travel like this, believe me, it's now not fun. It's tiring. Because I do nothing but lecture. I arrive at beside the airport, the place I'm staying and the place where I'm lecturing, I don't go anywhere, I don't see anything. And I have a tight schedule. Today I have 2 lectures, tomorrow I have 2 lectures. Monday I'm speaking in Leamington, Tuesday in Coventry, Wednesday I'm back in London. Again lectures. So I don't want you to sympathize with me. I'm just saying it's not fun. But I'm doing it because I'm deeply motivated to spread the message of this knowledge to at least our own people. So that the least that can happen is you'll be free from suffering. And you can tap into this knowledge and achieve things that you want to achieve at any age. And that you can be happy. That's all there is. Now the next is you can't explain the Bhagavad Gita without talking about renunciation. Because Tyaga is part of Gita. There was a Swami who was in a train, the train was about to leave, and one guy comes running and says, "Swamiji, I want you to tell me what is Gita about? The train has just started moving." So, no spiritual person sends up anybody without an answer. So he said, "You want to know Gita? Just repeat Tyagi, Tyagi, Tyagi." So he went home and he repeated Tyagi, 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 Gita. So he wrote a letter to the Swamiji and said, "Swamiji, you gave me such a simple thing to do. I'm not able to achieve it. You told me to say Tyagi, I'm getting Gita. So Swamiji wrote back and said, that is precisely it, son. Gita is Tyag. So what is renunciation? Renunciation is not giving up good things in life and suffering. This is what people believe, which is why people don't want to study the Gita. Tyag is not giving up things that you like. Like a lady came the other day and said, so far you spoke okay, but then this renunciation, how can I give up my husband? I said, who wants you to give up your husband? Please keep him, because nobody else wants it.
There you go.
Tyag is not about giving up relationships or giving up your wealth. Tyag is giving up the things that are coming in the way of your happiness, in the way of your success. Tyag is giving up lower things for higher things you want to achieve. See, you want to get the Wimbledon title. You can't eat what you want. You can't sleep the way you want. There are many things, disciplines you need to follow in order to win the Wimbledon title. Now a person like Nadal, Federer, who won the Wimbledon title, they don't want all this. They willingly give it up. Right? Similarly, you want something higher, you need to give up something lower. But you don't feel the loss because you have less value for the lower, you have greater value for the higher. A youngster who wants admission to Harvard Business School has to work very hard. He has to stop hanging out with friends, he has to stop partying until such time as he gets the admission. That is Tyag. But he does it willingly. The 6th chapter, verse 1, defines a sannyasi and says, Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti yaha saha sannyasi. That person is a sannyasi. Who, what? Just does his karyam karma, does his obligatory duties. Anashrita karma phalam, without focusing on the fruit of action. Simple. And it's very practical because you have no control over the fruit. The fruit belongs to the future. The fruit depends on the activities or happenings around the world over which you have no control. What do you have control over? Your present action. Do it to the best of your ability. Do it with your heart and soul. Consistently. The fruit will come. If not now, in future. So there's another movie. Incidentally, when I keep talking about movies, don't think I do nothing but watch movies. It's called Peaceful Warrior, another Hollywood movie. It's based on a true story of 3 Stanford University students who are gunning for the Olympic gold in gymnastics. So one of them drives into a gas station, and the gas station attendant starts talking to him. So he's the guru, the gas station attendant. And one time the gas station attendant, because he is talking to him, I want the Olympic gold, this, that and the other. So he asks him, what if you don't win the gold? This guy goes into a rage. He tells him, who the hell are you? You're a failure. You're only a gas station attendant. Look at me. I'm rich, I'm handsome, and I am going to win the Olympic gold. And he drives off on his bike in a fit of rage. He goes through a red light, has a horrible accident, and is lying in hospital months before the Olympics. He recovers and goes back, teary-eyed, talking to that gas station attendant. He says, ever since I can remember, all I wanted was to be Lord of the Rings. You know the rings in gymnastics. So that guy tells him, he says, what kind of a life are you leading? Even if you are selected to go to the Olympics, there is no guarantee that you'll win. It depends on how the others perform. And there is no guarantee that you'll be selected. But nobody can take away the fact that you are an outstanding gymnast. Just focus on that. Then he learns. So every time he's practicing, he gains joy from the practice itself. He gains fulfillment in the striving. And he forgets about the Olympic gold. That is a sannyasi. So just do what you have to do. Don't look for thanks from people. Don't look for laurels and accolades from people. For the simple reason that the world only recognizes mediocrity. You do outstanding work nobody in the world understands. Isn't it? No one understood Einstein. No one understands a realized person. But that doesn't prevent them from getting there. Madame Curie won the Nobel Prize not once, twice. What a lady. So, you fix your own goal of excellence. You work towards it. Don't look for appreciation from people. You won't get it. And even if you get it, it's not going to satisfy you. Just do what you have to do. You will be a sannyasi. Renunciation leads to meditation, and then you reach infinite happiness. What is that infinite happiness? The Gita gives the formula for happiness based on the Kathopanishad. Most of the Bhagavad Gita is taken from the Upanishads, but explained. Upanishads are short, 12 mantras, 15 mantras. Bhagavad Gita is 701 verses. So it's more explanatory. The formula for happiness is happiness equals number of desires fulfilled divided by number of desires harbored. Plain, simple formula. The little maths that we all know. If you want to increase your happiness, what must you do?
Less desires.
Either increase the numerator, which means increase the number of desires you fulfill, or reduce the denominator. Reduce the number of desires you are entertaining. Now take us. Where is our focus? On the numerator. We want to fulfill more desires, and you have succeeded in fulfilling desires. Has your happiness increased? Not necessarily. You are saying it. Why? Because as your numerator increases, the denominator also insidiously increases without your knowing it. Take an example. Let's say you go for a walk every day and your walking shoes have torn, so you need a new pair of shoes. Perfectly justifiable desire. You go to the mall. As you enter the mall, someone offers you limited edition perfume they've launched to sample. So you say, nice. Next, you come across the new Apple Watch, and you take a look at it and say, wow, nice. Third, you see a nice outfit and you say, nice. Fourth, fortunately for you, is the shoe store. So you go there, buy the shoes, come out. What have you done? You fulfilled one desire, bought shoes. Numerator has gone up by 1. What's happened to the denominator? Gone up by 3. Perfume, Apple Watch, and clothes. This is one experience. You go through life, every experience, the denominator keeps increasing. Happiness shrinks. So what the Bhagavad Gita says is, even mathematically, the numerator is irrelevant, it doesn't matter. Focus on the denominator. As you bring down your desires, your happiness increases in leaps and bounds. And when you bring the denominator to 0, what happens? You hit infinity. That's what you want, friends. You don't want finite. And you'll never get it as long as you chase the world. So you see, it's a self-defeating activity we are engaged in. So what to do? Do what you want. Go shopping, buy what you want. Fulfill desires. But focus on the denominator. How do you reduce desire? And incidentally, desire is the greatest obstacle between you and object of desire. Does it ever occur to you? A person who's obsessed with money never gets it. Who gets it? A person who shifts focus to something else. Merit. You become an outstanding athlete, an outstanding sports person, whiz at business. You earn money, whether you're looking at money or not. Right? So, and on the other hand, a person who's full of desire never gets it. A young man came to me the other day and said, help me, I want to get married. I said, that's one area where I can't help. So he said, no, I want to get married. I'm desperate to get married, and I go to all kinds of portals, all kinds of matchmakers, and I'm not getting married. What do I do? I said, number one, stop wanting to get married. You're young enough, you have the time. Focus on developing merit. When you develop merit, the girls will automatically come to you. Now you're chasing after them, they'll run away from you. This is the truth. So, rise above desire, object of desire comes to you. If you don't believe me, try it. Experiment with it in your life and you'll find it works 100%. So this is the last thought that I want to leave you with, and it's 12:30. So thank you very much. I'm speaking at more places, so please do come if you can. Don't say it's far. It's slightly closer than Bombay is where I've come from. So this evening I'm speaking on inspired living at Sri Gita Bhavan in Handsworth, right? Yeah. Tomorrow afternoon 1:30.
5:30.
Today at 5:30, sorry. Tomorrow afternoon 1:30 at the Balaji temple here, Dudley. And tomorrow evening on lessons from ancient Vedic wisdom at Church, GRS Lions Club, Church Road. So,
Erdington.
yeah. And Monday in Leamington, Tuesday at Coventry. So please do come to as many as you can, especially tomorrow morning because it's not very far from here. And the subject tomorrow is Karma, Life and Beyond.
Balaji temple tomorrow.
Venkateshwara Balaji temple tomorrow afternoon at 1:30. For those of you who want to take back something with you, we have some books. We have the entire Gita downloadable version, audio and video. And we have a brochure that you can carry home with you. So on the website we have valuable information, including the lectures that we're having now. So please do come and take a look here. Thank you.
आपका धन्यवाद, आभार इतनी दूर से आने के बाद और इतनी अच्छी आप आई थिंक इट वाज वेरी सिंपल टू अंडरस्टैंड रियली. Gita is sometimes seen as a difficult topic, difficult subject, but you made it so easy with the life experiences or with the everyday thing. So it was, thank you Jaya ji. I will call Praveen ji. Do you want something to say? And then after that, sorry? Yeah. And then afterwards, I will call our Salwan ji because he is going to make conclusive remarks. And then we will do Aarti, which we say regular program what we do in every month's talk. And I would like to thank our 3 coordinators of this group from Matada Mandir, Atri Auntie ji, Smita ji and Vijay ji. So please, can I have a round of applause for them as well, because it's a very difficult really, and Salwanji comes and then he brings people with him. He came from Leicester. It's not easy to give your whole day in it, really. So please, I did mention Salwanji. Please, can I have a big round of applause for Salwanji? It's a big effort. So he will be doing, and then we have food as well downstairs, please, before you leave. And
Name of volunteers.
sorry.
Name of volunteers.
Yeah, volunteers are. I think it's very difficult to name volunteers really, because volunteers are they did day and day out. Today, Shekhar ji, Sadhna ji, हमारी रमीला aunty, Daksha ji. I think it's we can't run without volunteers really. We can't really. I think this is.
Vijay. Today
What have you done, Vijay?
Vijay.
I'm asking really. What have you done?
He
Sorry.
He made a dough.
Oh, of course, that's a difficult task. Thank you, Vijay. Kavinder ji, you wanted to say something?
Now, can we ask a couple of questions if you don't mind?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, of course.
Well, in the meantime, you are talking. I mean, I'm not poor at talking. I have put them in writing last night. And if you find these are laughable, please just say no. It's on Gita, which I studied a year and a half back. And these were some of the points I just wanted, someone expert in Gita to say a point. If you don't feel that they need this audience, please.
So why
Again,
Jaya ji is going through those questions, I just want to briefly take your time to once again thank you for coming today and for being here through the lecture. Now today we are fortunate that we have listened to a very inspiring talk. So all our minds, all our buddhi and our intellect is tuned to do something right. Now one thing that we have already done is we have contributed to this cause of the Jnana Yajna by being here. But I wanted to go further and to contribute in any other way monetarily, because that's the least we can do in this work that Jaya ji has taken upon herself for decades, devoting decades of her life to this cause. So I got some forms here. Please fill these forms. This will get you in touch with the organization. They'll be sending you information and emails and reminders about the activities that go on in the Vedanta Trust. Do not think that you need to. So let me tell you, the costs of the simple costs of sponsoring a YouTube tutorial over a weekend is about £1,000. Sponsoring a child for the entire year, so looking after their education, looking after their activities and food, it costs about £150. That is the Indian costs, £150 a year to do that. What I'm saying is the costs are huge, but what you can do is begin as little as £1, because whatever you contribute is meaningful, is worth it. So I'm leaving the forms out here. Please find in your hearts to be a part of this yajna. Thank you.
I find it difficult to read this. So if you can just say in simple English what the question is.
Would you actually go read them?
The Hindi script. Basically, ma'am, I have read Gita a year and a half back, and before that, I got an opportunity to study something about Sankhya, Yoga Darshan, and then out of Shat Darshan, I could do Vedanta on my own. Just
the question, please.
the question is, I just wanted to know, we pray devotees like Krishna and Ram, but did he say in Gita that he is Ishwar himself?
Okay, please sit. See, a realized person never says that I am Ishwar. But from the sayings, from the way they speak, you can gather that he has identified with Atman and not body, mind and intellect. So, when he says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja, he is not talking about giving up other gods and worshipping only Krishna. That's not what he means. Other dharmas means give up the dharma of the body, mind and intellect and surrender to Atman. Now, why does he say me? Because when we say me, we can mean the body. Like you say, are you coming with me to the movie? Or you can mean the mind. When a friend has lost a dear one in New York, say, and you call the person and say, I am with you. What do you mean? Your body is here, he is in New York. You mean your mind, your feelings are with you. Then, when a professor is teaching and he finds the students are distracted, he says, are you with me? The student can't say, of course sir, I'm with you, I'm there. What he means is, are you understanding? Intellect. When you identify with Atman, which is what Krishna and Rama and all these self-realized people have reached, when they say me, they mean Atman. So from the way they speak, you can infer that they are realized souls. And Rama and Krishna are reputed to be realized at birth. So they are supposed to be avatars of Lord Vishnu.
So you really, I mean, the only thing is I couldn't find it in Gita.
No.
Rather, Krishna always said 8 times that
Nobody will say.
Om. He
Nobody
just talked
will
about Om, and there was no Murti Puja during Mahabharata or during Ramayana. And everybody, even during Mahabharata, were doing, that Arya Samadhi, whatever you say, Sandhya and all, even during the war. So I just wanted to know, I mean, like you are a very learned person in Gita, that did he declare himself?
No.
That
Except in the 11th chapter when he showed the Vishwarupa.
Vishwarup. Except that he
No.
did not. He did not say.
And
then,
nobody will say because it amounts to egoistic that I am God. Who will say?
And then you just touched on Karyam Karma. The chapter 4, I mean, I didn't know a year and a half back that karma is only the process of yajna. Though 12, 14 yajna that he said, Shwas Prashwas, all those things, pranayam. So, and he tells Arjun to do Karyam Karma only, which lead to upward. बाकी के कर्मों के संसार से हम माया मोह में फंसते हैं. तो इन कर्मों का क्या हुआ, इसके बारे में कृष्ण ने क्या कहा?
No. Karyam karma is not only the 9 yajnas that he speaks of in chapter 4. Karyam karma is obligatory duty. We have 3 kinds of actions. Obligatory duty, then we have kamya karma, desire driven activities. And when desires mount to such an extent that they cannot be fulfilled through legal, moral methods, you cross the line and perform nishiddha karma, prohibited action. Prohibited by your conscience. You do bad things, criminal activities. So, do only obligatory duty, because through that you will get to spiritual evolution.
My question was that only in chapter 4, before that he hadn't touched what is karma. He defines
No,
karma.
of course, he's talking about karma right through.
4th is purely on karma.
3rd chapter is titled Karma Yoga. So it's not only in the 4th chapter. He's talking about karma right till the 18th chapter. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, any other questions?
Thank you very much. It was very good insight.
Thank you.
Simple question. You did say about spirituality. What is spirituality?
Yeah. What is spirituality? Spirituality is to understand that basically your constitution is spirit and matter. Matter, body, mind, intellect. Spirit is spirit, different from body, mind, intellect. Now, world is matter. Body, mind, intellect are matter. Matter influences matter. So, as long as you have identified with body, mind and intellect, you are vulnerable to the influences of the world. When it's hot outside, you feel uncomfortable. When it's cold, you're shivering. When someone says nice things to you, you feel good. When someone insults you, you feel bad, your mind. When you are honored, your intellect feels good. When you are dishonored, your intellect feels bad. But what the Gita tells us, what any master tells us, is you are not matter. You are spirit, Atman. That's why they say Atman. Atman means self. So any cause, any thought process that takes you to identification with spirit, with knowing spirit, and disengaging with body, mind and intellect is spiritual.
Thank you.
Can I ask? You talked about desires, and I'm guilty of them. We all have desires. You talked about the shopping, and I often do that when I go shopping. I have that, I look at that. How do you reduce that then?
When you have a higher goal, then you disconnect from the lower.
So you have to disconnect.
Yeah, you have to pick a higher goal. That's what we've done from childhood. Has any person given up desires for toys? No. But every child has grown to appreciate better things than toys. Right? So when you pick up the higher, it is so fulfilling that your desire for the lower wanes away. Now, as physical adults, we are spiritual children. So we have to rise from spiritual infancy to spiritual adulthood. Yes?
You told in your speech, when like wrinkles in your body, then you 40. And after that, when wrinkles goes in the soul, then you look like 80. But my question is, wrinkles how can goes in the soul? Soul says that.
It's a way of talking. When you focus your attention only on the body and you're worried, see, all of us age, all of us get wrinkles, right?
So
That you can't stop.
So I think this
One sec,
example,
listen,
this
you-
example is not okay for the,
For whom?
no.
So if you listen, you'll understand. You've asked the question, na?
Yeah.
Now listen.
Yeah.
Hmm? So, wrinkles of the body you can't prevent. That will happen to every person, provided they live till old age. But wrinkles of the soul, you can prevent. Wrinkles of the soul means you get depressed, you think negatively, you are frustrated in life. That can happen even at a young age. And that actually results in wrinkles on your body, face.
No. That is the with mind and body. That is with mind and body. Soul, you can't touch, you can't see, you can't do anything. Then soul is the different thing.
Yeah. In that example, in that sentence, because I quoted it from somebody else, wrinkles on the soul means your inner personality, not Atman.
Oh.
Okay? That's your confusion. Any other question? If you get more questions after this meeting, you can feel free to ask on our website and I will answer them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
On Vedanta website, there is a first page when it says if you want to post a question, and then you can do that. Before we conclude, I think I will like हमारे सालवान जी हमेशा इसको conclude करते हैं. And then our mandir would like to contribute 50 pounds towards the Vedanta with this cause. So thank you, Jaya ji, and I will give to Salwan ji for the last words. And
So it is a different thing and
okay, yeah.
Maybe, but let me try to find
there first. My name is Mr. Salwan. I'm chairman of the Hindu Religion Study Group Leicester, which happens to be an organization which has been working for the last 39 years. We are the one who started it. And the idea behind that was that Hindus should feel they are Hindus. They ought to know what Hinduism is, why we pray, why we do things like this. And they ought to say we are Hindu with pride, great pride, not just silently, saying loudly and clearly. So that they ought to have, these days, young people, they don't say they are Hindus. They speak against Hinduism and they go adopt other religions. We want practical thing. Practical thing is this, that we talk to them and we speak to them and we tell them why we are Hindus and what the Hindus should do. That was our aim of starting the group. Now, we happen to be working, we have gone on television, we have gone on radios, we have spoken in schools, we have spoken in colleges, we have spoken in universities, and we have spoken everywhere. This branch we opened here, so we let the people of other towns and things and surrounding area that they should know there is the Hindu Religion Study Group, what are the aims of the Hindu Religion Study Group. We speak a lot of things. We write books, we produce our own publications. I am the writer and I wrote. Now, surprisingly, a lot of English people are our members and they learn about Hinduism, they talk about Hinduism. Today I brought specially a family of few people, few Hindus, who are real Hindus, and they are young people. They are not older people. They are young people, and they do things. And they got two brothers who had recently had a baby. Two babies. One is 3 months old, the other is 7 months old. And they have come, they told me, we want to make these two babies Hindus, members of the Hindu Religion Study Group. Now, how many people of you have ever taught your children what Hinduism is? What you do, you say, we say that, oh, do whatever. Why should they eat meat? They should be vegetarian, we are Hindus. There's a people say, whatever you want to do, do. I said, well, that's not Hinduism. So the thing is this practical thing which we want to let people know that what is our religion, what is our origin, and Hinduism is the oldest religion on this world, on this planet. And Hinduism had taught other people how to run a religion. Muslims, I don't want to name these things, they have learned things from Hinduism. They say the same things which we say, and yet they negate us, that they are not like that. And I happen to have a lot of discussions and debates with people like these, and they eventually apologize, and they say that they think we agree with you. And they say how Hinduism started. All these things we ought to tell people. Just telling about, suppose our scriptures is not good enough. The enough thing is, practically we should tell them what Hinduism is, why should be Hindu. So these are the sort of things. Now I am absolutely proud of this special family which I have brought with me. And we are about 12, 13 people come from Leicester. I went to bed about 12:30. I got up 4 o'clock to come here and to spend all the afternoon, get ready, have my breakfast and come here. And these people all they all came with me. So this is the whole thing which we want. And today we are going to ask these parents, two young parents, to go to the temple and get blessings of Durga Ma. And also at the same time, we want to let you know that what sort of work we do here in all over England. We have done in various towns of England, and we have told them what we do. And the thing is this, be practical, be a Hindu, be vegetarian, not just you are a Hindu and go to a restaurant and eat all sort of non-vegetarian dishes and all that sort of thing. We are what we eat. We are what we do. We are what we tell people what Hinduism is. It is our duty to tell people what Hinduism is for, what Hindus are for. Hindus are the one who have a really long history. The first religion on this earth was a Hindu religion. It is not me who is saying, it is a fact, which is an established fact. And no religion has got such a long history. So these are the sort of things we want to say. I am composer as well, and I sing as well myself. I have written a song which I would like to sing to you in a minute, from which we say what we say to God. So this is the most important thing which you have to understand, that we are here to open this group's branch here in Dudley, so that people will know. I am ever so grateful for Kiranji, for Mrs. Bakshi, for Vijayji. They are the three people. They are all three from the educational background. They are teachers, though Mrs. Atari happened to be working for the social services, but her background is that she is a teacher. They all are at least graduate, and they are well educated people, and I am very proud of them. They are working very hard to keep the thing going on, keep the idea of Hinduism prevail everywhere. So this is the most important thing. You should, and I'm so glad you people are coming. Thank you very much for your speech. That was very nice, very enlightening. But main thing I want to say is, like face-to-face talk, to tell people exactly in clear and plain words what Hinduism is. So I have written a song. I'll just sing a song, what I say to God.
बस अब आरती के लिए बढ़ेंगे और फिर हम नीचे जाएंगे, सिर्फ आरती करेंगे हम लोग. Just quickly, somebody asked that how much these books cost. £8 for anything. £8. If anybody want to buy, please come here after the aarti and then please choose. So, and then if there is any information would you need for any other events which is in Birmingham area, then you can always contact me. I've got all the information. If I not, I will.
जो फाइल जो आरती के लिए प्लीज
पंडित जी चले गए, आरती चला दीजिए.
मेरी तकदीर को लिख दो मेरे शंकर मेरे भोले, बना दो सुंदर सी तकदीर मेरे शंभु डमरू वाले. मेरी तकदीर को लिख दो. तकदीर में भगवन का करूं दिन रात मैं भक्ति, तेरे चरणों का पूजन कर के पाऊं जग से मैं मुक्ति। बिठा लो चरणों में मुझको, बिठा लो चरणों में मुझको, हो भक्तों के जो रखवाले, बना दो सुंदर सी तकदीर मेरे शंकर भोले शंकर। मेरे मन को बना मंदिर, रहो उसमें सदा बाबा। पलट दो काया ही मेरी, बजे भक्ति का ही बाजा। पिला दो मुझको हे दाता अपने प्यार के प्याले, बना दो सुंदर सी तकदीर मेरे शंभू डमरू वाले। बुराई पास न आए, भलाई ही भलाई हो, ज़ुबां पर नाम हो तेरा, नाम की मस्ती छाई हो। मैं नाचूं जोर से ऐसे, तू मुझको ही संभाले प्रभु, तू ही मुझको संभाले मेरे शंकर डमरू वाले। सिखा दो मुझको करना प्यार अपने संग है मालक, बसो मेरी इन आंखों में, उस सृष्टि के सभी पालक। करूं आराधना तेरी, जो डोरी को तू संभाले, बना दो सुंदर सी तकदीर मेरे शंभू डमरू वाले, मेरे शंभू डमरू वाले, मेरे शंभू डमरू वाले।
अब हम आरती के लिए खड़े हो जाएंगे प्लीज। अभी जैसे पंडित जी आ रहे हैं, शायद एक दो सूचनाएं हैं यहाँ पे हैं, तो आई थॉट इसका फायदा उठाऊं जब तक पंडित जी आते हैं। भागवत गीता है, ऑडियो कमेंट्री बाय जया जी of 18 chapters, Sanskrit citation and translation, 125 hours of this, and it's originally was 160 pounds, but now it is on 80 pounds. And there are other things. That's another 50%. Is it same? No. That's the video commentary by Jaya ji. It is originally by 300, but now discounted for 150 pounds. And you can download the videos on your device and watch them at your own convenience. And there is an inspiration series by Jaya Raoji, and then their video talks on 20 pounds and audio talks by 10 pounds discounted. There is another online course by Jaya ji. It is overcoming life's challenges. Sorry, my अंग्रेजी भी जा रही है और आंखें भी. So you can do this one as well, which costs 30 pounds. So you can always, there is a form there if you want for future events. You can always fill this form and then you will get these information via text, via email or any other ways of means. So please you can contact those kind of things. Pandit ji, आ गए हम.
अभी अपने को बेबीज को कर रहा है.
Sorry?
बेबीज को कुछ
कोई बात नहीं, कोई बात
ऐसे ही ले आओ, तो सोए हुए ले आओ ना।
आ जाओ, आ जाओ।
माइक दे दोगे?
हाँ जी, हाँ जी, पहले
जो किसी और ने भी ऊपर आना, आ जाओ। प्लीज कम एंड जॉइन अस।
आज जो ये बाइक नहीं करते, दिन में नहीं करती हैं, रात को भी करते हैं।
We invite everybody to come and join the IC update. Ajay, please come join us.
अजय,
बेटा इधर आ। ये तो जाग पड़ा है।
जी जाग पड़ा साहब, आपकी आवाज सुन के।
पीयूष आना इधर आ।
चले जाओ, चले जाओ।
तू भी आ।
चलो जी।
लक्ष्मी, इधर आ।
चलो आशमी, आ जाओ आशमा, आप भी आ जाओ, कोई बात नहीं, एक ही पैसे उतने ही है।
तू पीछे क्या कर रही है?
अब बताओ ना।
तू दोनों जाने, तू अपने बेटे को पकड़, वो तो जाग पड़ा है। इधर आओ, माँ के चरणों में। हाँ, ये हमारी ये है कि माँ सरस्वती की आशीर्वाद मिले इनको। सरस्वती माँ जो है वो विद्या की दाती है। She is the goddess of learning. So we pray to Mother Saraswati to bless these babies, and we are hoping they are going to become doctors. That's the whole thing with you. Now, where's the mother? Come on here, both of you. These are mother and fathers of the Janish. जैनिश जो है वो भगवान विष्णु का नाम है। ये जैनिश है, जैनिश पीयूष, और ये रवीना है उसकी माँ। और इधर जो है अच्छा आगे ये लक्ष्मी है, ये इसकी माँ है। ये और इसका पति दोनों भाई हैं, सगे भाई हैं। लेकिन घर में ये सबसे बड़ी बात ये है कि भगवान का नाम है, सब भगवान का नाम लेते हैं। तो मैं इनको ब्लेस करने के लिए पहले ये है, ये सोया पड़ा है, लेकिन बड़ा 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 प्यारा बच्चा है। हाँ, इसको हम ये बना थोड़ा ध्यान। चलो उसने आंखें खोल ली हैं। माँ सरस्वती इनकी रक्षा करे। हे माँ, इनको विद्या दान दो और इनको अपना आशीर्वाद, लंबी आयु दो, नेक और सफल हिंदू बने। ये सब घर में हिंदू हैं, बहुत ही हिंदू तबका प्रयोग करते हैं, सब व्रत रखते हैं, नेम करते हैं, हर चीज करते हैं, चाहे लड़के हैं चाहे लड़कियां। शुक्रवार के दिन जो ये व्रत रखती है, औरतें तो व्रत रखती है, आदमी जो है वो खट्टा खाते ही नहीं है।
जी जी जी।
क्योंकि ये नियम है शुक्रवार का। उन्हें केक नहीं खाना, कुछ नहीं खाना। भगवान भला करे बेटा,
ये होली आरती कर लेते हैं फटाफट, क्योंकि इनकी अगली टॉक भी है और फिर खाना खा के हम लोग चलेंगे। चलो बेटी।
हरि ओम। दीपो ज्योतिर्पर ब्रह्म, दीपो ज्योति जनार्दन।
हाँ जी,
दीपो हरतु मे पापम, पूजा दीप नमोस्तुते, पूजा दीप नमोस्तुते।
आपको आती हो तो आप बोले, ना भी आ तो यहाँ आपको जितनी थोड़ी सी आप सुनेंगे उसके साथ जोड़ करें। हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ। हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें चार दे माँ। तू स्वर की देवी, ये संगीत तुझसे, हर शब्द तेरा, हर गीत तुझसे। तू स्वर की देवी, ये संगीत तुझसे, हर शब्द तेरा, हर गीत तुझसे। हम हैं अकेले, हम हैं अधूरे, तेरी शरण हम, हमें प्यार दे माँ। हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ। मुनियों ने समझी, मुनियों ने जानी, वेदों की भाषा, पुराणों की वाणी। मुनियों ने समझी, मुनियों ने जानी, वेदों की भाषा, पुराणों की वाणी। हम भी तो समझे, हम भी तो जाने, विद्या का हमको अधिकार दे माँ। हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ। तू श्वेत वर्णी कमल पे विराजे, हाथों में वीणा मुकुट सर पे साजे। तू श्वेत वर्णी कमल पे विराजे, हाथों में वीणा मुकुट सर पे साजे। मन से हमारे मिटा के अंधेरे, हमको उजालों का संसार दे माँ। हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ। हमें तार दे माँ, हमें तार दे माँ। अब वैदिक मंत्र हम बोलते हैं तो उसी तरह से आप बोलेंगे। कपूर गौरम करुणावतारम, संसार सारम, भुजगेन्द्रहारम, सदा वसंतम हृदयारविंदे, भवम भवानी सहितम नमामि। मंगलम भगवान विष्णु, मंगलम गरुड़ध्वजा, मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्ष, मंगलाय तनोहरि। सर्वमंगल मांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके, शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमस्तुते। नारायणी नमस्तुते, नारायणी नमस्तुते। तमेव माता च पिता तमेव, तमेव बन्धु च सखा तमेव, तमेव विद्याधवनं तमेव, तमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रिये प्रकृति स्वभाव करो जल जल सकलम परस्मै नारायणेति समर्पयामि। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। ओम भुवः ओम स्वः ओम वः ओम जना ओम तपः ओम सत्य। Just one more on the other side. ये अभी कभी जैसे आरती के साथ मंत्रों का चालू बोलेंगे।
अभी वो करें एक और मंत्र रह गया।
ओम भूपनातु शिरसि ओम भुवा पुनातु नित्यो ओम स्वाहा पुनातु पंचे ओम महापुनातु हृदय ओम जना पुनातु नाभ्यम ओम तपा पुनातु पादो ओम सत्यम पुनातु शिरसि ओम खाम ब्रह्म पुनातु सर्वत्र। यानि कानि जापानि ज्ञाता व्याकृतानि कानि सर्वाणि नश्यन्तु प्रदक्षिणायां पदे पदे। ओम शान्ति अंतरिक्षं शान्ति पृथिवी शान्ति आपः शान्ति औषधयः शान्ति वनस्पतयः शान्ति विश्वदेवा शान्ति ब्रह्मा शान्ति सर्वगुण शान्ति शान्तिरेव शान्ति सामा शान्तिरेव। ओम शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। अभी सभी हाथ जोड़े आंखें बंद करें, एक प्रार्थना हम करते हैं। O Lord God Brahm, all powerful, ocean of kindness, creator and savior of the universe, O of earth, space and heaven, we worship you from the depth of our being. O compassionate God, kindly grant peace, happiness, unity and prosperity to the whole world. O most excellent, all pervasive, free us from darkness, illuminate our thoughts and inspire our actions. O graceful, guide our soul, open our eyes and bless us with wisdom. Om Tat Sat. O Lord God, everything that we possess is given by you. This prasad is prepared in your name. Kindly accept it and bless it with your kindness. O compassionate one, anybody who partakes this prasad may be free from any ailment or disturbance of body and mind. We thank you, God, for all kindness that you have already showered upon us. Namaskar. Jaya.
आप सबका दोबारा से धन्यवाद। नीचे जरूर खाना खा के जाइएगा। खाना सुबह से वॉलंटियर आज बहुत जल्दी आ गए थे, उन्होंने बनाया। शाम को भी हमारी कथा है मंदिर में, तो प्लीज आप खाना जरूर खा के जाइएगा। 8:30 बजे का। आई नो इट्स डिफिकल्ट।